Oh, you always make me feel underdressed. Sorry
Please.
to cut in there,
No,
mate.
please,
But look,
please.
I mean, look at this. Come on. That's best dress list.
I appreciate
Average dress
I appreciate it. Oh, please, come on. Come on. Look at I'm sitting across from the Wolverine. I got to man up a little bit. I got to man up.
Wear what I want.
I've been following this film a long time. There's a period of time in which the great Darren Aronofsky was going to direct it.
Yep.
I was wondering, what was the biggest difference between their two visions? What was the difference between what Mr. Aronofsky was going to do versus what James Mangold ended up doing?
Not as big as you'd imagine, because Darren, like James, really responded to the original script that Chris McQuarrie wrote, because it was so strong, and it was one of those ones he wrote in like 3 weeks, you know. We did have Scott Frank come on board. We had others come on board just to help define it, but really not that different. And Darren, who's a great mate of mine who couldn't do the movie, had some great ideas, which we nicked. And I told you, I'm nicking those ideas.
Are you?
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm taking them.
Okay. It's good to know. Is there any truth to the rumor that there was potentially going to be an R rating for this movie?
Yeah, no, we talked about it. We talked about it right to the end, actually. Funnily enough, we made the movie true to the character. We honestly finished the movie not knowing if it was going to be PG-13 or R-rated. All I kept saying is, I run into 10, 12, 14, 15-year-old boys and girls where Wolverine's not just cool and great, I can't wait. It means something to them. And I kept saying, if we're going to make this R-rated, we have to have an incredible reason to deliberately exclude them. Because I have to face them in the street.
Exactly.
And I have to say to them, sorry, next one's for you.
Or give them a reason to sneak in. Which was my childhood.
That never happens.
Yeah, exactly. Never, ever. I read a very interesting quote from
I'd
you.
like a ticket for Despicable Me too, please.
Yeah, all by with my Wolverine shirt on.
My employer wants to say thank you for saving his life all those years ago.
There was a time when our enemies knew honor.
Piece of shit.
The fans' disappointment in X-Men. I read a very interesting quote from you talking about the fans' disappointment in X-Men Origins Wolverine. You said that I had something to prove and we could have done better. I left unsure if we achieved our goal. And I was wondering, from an actor's perspective, under what circumstances does an actor feel comfortable criticizing his past work?
Well, it's always difficult. I mean, in some ways, actors like me are always critical and always want to improve. But I never want to begrudge the people I worked with. I never want to put a slight on them, because when we did that film, like this film, we put in 150%. Nothing less than that. So if it doesn't work out in the end, often you don't know that till the movie's made, you know. So I don't want to diss people, but in the end, when I look back at it, I thought what we did was ended up having so many mutants, it became almost like another X-Men movie, for better or worse, what do people thought. And I wanted to make a movie that was about this character, because I always loved this character, and I thought there was so much in it. And when we, in the studio, and it was actually Darren Aronofsky who came up with the idea of the title, I was really excited, because it's like, for better or worse, this is not going to be filled with millions of mutants. This is going to be about this guy.
What they did to me, what I am, can't be undone.
Lo and behold, this shit works in full screen. That's preserved the roots.
Weapon X is dead. Hey, somebody take my picture. Sure send me a copy. Shit, he's alive!
Okay. Well, all I can say is, Hugh Jackman, you fucking idiot, fucking dimwit, half-ass motherfucker. I gave you a chance. Remember, motherfucker? I gave you a chance. You fucked up with X-Men Origins Wolverine, which, by the way, is still a fucked up movie. That's longer than this one. You did it again here. Okay, you had ninjas, you had all this stuff. I gave you a chance to give you a Wolverine movie, and you blew it! You blew it! I know I was going to say I wasn't going to use that because I figured Mike and Matt pretty much did it to death and it made it more funnier, but maybe I'll put that as a title. They blew it! How y'all doing, by the way? I wanted to show the interview that he had done with this guy, Jake Hamilton. Those good interviews on YouTube and stuff with some of these famous people and everything like that. And now, granted, Hugh Jackman's not a bad guy, nothing like that, but it's just he's making very dumb decisions with his character, really. And his excuse regarding, oh, it's for the kids, you know, because he bumps into all these kids. Okay, all right. But Jack Hamilton mentioned something very interesting. And it's serious, man. Even though Hugh Jackman laughed it off, kids do sneak into the theaters. I hate to break it to you. The movie theater people who run the theater are not stupid. I mean, they're not stupid, to be honest. Because look what happened with Rambo 4. How Meet the Spartans made this much money and Rambo 4 made that much money because people were buying tickets. Kids were buying tickets to Meet the Spartans and sneaking in to see Rambo 4. It's been known to happen. I've been to movie theaters a bunch of times. I don't see nobody, no ushers, anybody in front of the fucking auditorium stopping kids or whatever from coming into the theater. At least the ones I go to, I've never seen that. And then Hugh Jackman, being the hypocrite he is, why the fuck did he voice Wolverine in that damn video game? And you see the video game, that's a 2009 video game. It's supposedly based on the film, but it has shit in the game that's not in the goddamn movie. Which part of me wants to believe maybe it's part of the original script. And they probably saw that shit like, oh, we can't put this in a movie. You kidding me? Cutting somebody's arms off with the claws? You crazy? We can't do that. I know he admitted he fucked up with X-Men Origins. Okay, I give him that. But he fucked up here, too. And his excuse is, oh, because there were so many mutants. It made no difference if it was mutants or not mutants. It's a matter of the tone you're setting for the film. That's what matters. And the guy he got the directors, James Mangold, I don't know, he probably was your wrong choice of directors. You know who should have did this? Scott Mann. Who the fuck is that? That's probably what he probably was saying. Who the fuck is Scott Mann? Guy directed one good film. He should have got a chance to direct more fucking movies, but no. Hell, even Steven Norrington, for fuck's sake, could have gave us a better Wolverine film than what the fuck James Mangold and Gavin Hood gave us. Now, does Hugh Jackman deserve all the blame? No. Okay, I know a majority of it's got to go to the fucking writers. to the director, of course, and of course to the studio and shit. This is another example, like I've said before, every year when I've yelled about movies that this studio has dealt with, which are franchises, which would be Alien, X-Men, and Predator. Those franchises. And of course, this one right here. You cannot give these people a franchise. You cannot give them a franchise to do. I saw the Heat. I enjoyed the Heat. I saw Chronicle. I enjoyed Chronicle. That's only being because it's not a franchise. That's what it is. Not that much money being thrown in there. See, now, if they do a sequel to the Heat, guaranteed, it might be a chance they fuck it up. Because you make it into a franchise, it's going to get fucked up. Chronicle is getting a sequel. Chances are the sequel will be fucked up. Because that's their track record with these people. I thought when Tom Rothman left, things would be different. It's the same shit. Same shit. And Hugh Jackman came out as a producer, or Hugh Jackman came out as a fucking producer. I know he wanted to make it in-depth and character-driven, but we already had much. We know a lot about this character already. Where's the action part? You know? Where's the fucking action? I know there's a good friend of mine, a friend of ours, Mario. He didn't mind the film. He had fun with the film. I would like to hear what Aaron's thoughts are on the film. I don't know if he's seen it yet. I know he didn't mind X-Men Origins Wolverine, even though he admits it has problems. I know Mario didn't mind X-Men Origins Wolverine. But I know I'm not alone feeling like this. I know Matt hated it. Mike hated it. Michael was not a fan of the film either. So, you know, pretty much the four of us hate the film. And I know actually five of us, because there's one guy on here, Mr. 707 Legend, Jose. He did a 3-part review. He didn't like the film either. Does the film have one thing going for it? It's Hugh Jackman. But that says a lot, though. X-Men Origins had the same problem. That has a shitload of problem. Hugh Jackman is on point. So he's got no problem playing the character. It's the fucking plot they throw these characters in. They throw this character in. That's what it is. An origin story I didn't need to know about. Because I got that in X2. There was times I used to put down the very first X-Men film. You know what? I don't think that film has... I'm not going to say it's perfect or it's the best like people make it out to be. But I'd rather watch the first X-Men film than watch this fucking movie and X-Men Origins Wolverine or X-Men First Class of Shit, which is another one I wasn't a fan of. And I don't give two fucks about Days of Future Shit. Which the whole continuity with these movies are ridiculous because the writers are too lazy to watch the other fucking movies. People wondering I got in 14 minutes and why I haven't gone to the plot. I'll keep the plot very vague. It's more me yelling about the movie in general, really. Like you've seen in the trailers, basically, Wolverine is he's a hobo now in the woods. He sees a bear in the woods. He goes into town to buy something, I guess. So he's got money. It's not like he's without money. It's just he chooses to live in the woods and stuff. Sees a bunch of asshole hunters there. And one night he's sleeping in the woods and finds this bear dying because someone shot an arrow through the bear. So he has to put his claws through the bear. Okay, they fixed his claw problem that he had in the last film. Okay. Alright. That doesn't say this film, though. He goes back into town. Think he's gonna go kick ass? No. He goes there, takes an arrow, he finds the hunters at the bar, drinking, talking shit about the bear they shot. He takes the arrow, stabs it in the guy's hand. The insertion shot you don't see because of PG-13. That's the problem with this film is it looked like it was violent, but they really, really chopped it down for PG-13. I know James Mangold has made statements about, oh, there's going to be extended scenes of 15 minutes of stuff that I had to cut out to make it a PG-13. I don't give a fuck about his cut, to be honest. I don't give a fuck. Because if you're going to have gore, you got to have the pace and everything going for it, too. The gore is not going to save the film. It would help a little bit, though, if you gave it to a director who was more confident on the way things were filming. Then shit, but no. Some bullshit. It's all this, some bullshit. So, he goes in there. During the time when he went into town before to buy something, there's this Asian girl with I guess a phone, a little thing on the phone, just sitting in the car looking at him. Just sitting in the car looking at him. She doesn't approach him or nothing like that. She stays in the car. He goes up the woods, then he comes back. All right. He's having dialogue with the guy there. And also, the guy hits him with a bottle over his face. Okay, you get that scene there with the glass gets stuck in his face and he goes, that hurt. And then he's about to go do something. So the girl interferes. Some red-headed girl, whatever. Which I know everybody said, I must be colorblind or something. Because I see the hair is red. Everybody says pink. I don't see pink. Made me feel like something's wrong with my eyes or something. I don't know. See a red-headed girl. Shit. I'm gonna have to go to the eye doctor now and get checked because of this fucking shitty movie. She goes in there, talks about her katana sword, very sharp, very this, blah, blah, blah. Does that scene you seen in the fucking trailer where she swings it a bunch of times. Doesn't hit nobody, cuts a gun in half, breaks a stool, cuts a guy's bottle in half. And then tells Logan-san, you must come back to me to Tokyo. My master who hired me to find you, Mr. Yoshida, wants to thank you. Because Mr. Yoshida is some Japanese guy who was a soldier in World War II, you could say, in Nagasaki, no, whatever the word is, in Nagasaki in World War II, when the bombs dropped, and Logan was a POW. How is he a POW? I have no fucking idea. I agree with Michael. How would you capture him? Didn't they forget continuity once again? You know, wasn't it the opening of the last film? You seen the montage with the interesting music and shit, where you see Logan going through all the wars with Sabretooth and it like that, and him being shot, him being here and there and shit like that. You know, how the fuck would you capture him? Unless he had to surrender to spare somebody's life or something. I don't know. But he's in a hole, and they got the alarms to sound off. The Japanese soldiers let all the American soldiers go, and Yoshida, the younger Yoshida, sees Logan. They tell Logan to get out. He says, look, bit off down here. And he sees some of his other sergeants killing themselves with his sword, but you don't see insertion shots. PG-13. And Logan stops him from doing it, throws him into the hole. The bomb drops, alright. Afterwards, it does look like a practical effect, alright. Him burned up, but then it quickly turns to CGI when he starts healing and stuff. And then, of course, it's a dream of a dream. He's in bed with Jean Grey from Mecha Johnson, which I got fed up seeing her throughout this whole film. I don't like Famika Johnson no more. She wore out her fucking cameo. Because I thought she was going to be at least in the beginning and that's it, or maybe a little bit in the end. No, she's all through the fucking movie. I know you never hurt me. Gene, I will never hurt you. I know you will. I know you wouldn't, but you did. Ah! Then he wakes up and he's in the woods. And basically, he's got to go to get washed up or whatever before he gets on the plane. So you can get a little, I didn't mind this little funny scene here where the two older Japanese women bathe him. Let me ask you something. This movie's PG-13, right? Why are they showing Hugh Jackman's bare ass? Somebody probably say, well, maybe because it wasn't in a sexual situation, so you can get away with a bare ass. If that's the case, why can't you get away with female nudity? Yeah? When you look at movies like Charlie's Angels, who tease with the nudity and shit, or DOA, the tournament movie, what did they had, which was bullshit. It was dumb fun at most, but it's not one I want to get in my collection, which they tease at nudity and shit. But he shows his bare ass. And then he gets the look he's got. And she goes, you feel better? No, I feel violated. Alright. Ha 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 ha. Alright. Gets on the plane, goes to see Yoshida. Basically makes him an offer regarding that he's dying and he wants to end his suffering from his immortality and to take some of his healing factor so he can live on. And of course, Wolverine says some bullshit about, you don't, hey, look, bub, you don't want what I got. And then leaves. But fortunately, he decides to stay the night. He gets a visit from he thinks he's having a dream, but he gets a visit from this fucking bitch who can't act. Lame ass villain, Viper. She kisses him and thinks it's a dream. And then next morning, he wakes up to find out there's a funeral happening. Yoshida had passed away. His granddaughter is going to inherit his whole business. His son, I recognize the actors. I know he's the same actor Radcliffe was in Last Samurai. By the way, Last Samurai is better than this movie. And he was your bad guy in Rush Hour 3. He was also, I think, in Sunshine. That movie Sunshine with Cillian Murphy and Chris Evans. I think he was in that one too. Decent actor. But he's not given much to do. We've seen this character before. Guy Jean, get out of here. Get on your plane, Guy Jean. Go by. Whatever. You belong back to your cave, Guy Jean. Basically. And his daughter is going to inherit the business. Same time, there's sort of an issue going on between Yoshida and the Yakuza. Because the Yakuza shows up at the funeral. Doesn't even only realize he has no power. He kills people off camera, shaky cam fashion. Which I guess you can't show him. Which will be worth a shit if it was R-rated, granted. But the problem is, Hugh Jackman, along with the director, along with the studio, wanted this PG-13. Not for the kids. It was not for the kids. You know why it was for? Because last year, Dark Knight Rises made all that money. And this movie's probably going to make its money, regardless. When it opens... When did it open? What, last week? It's number one. It's got more talks, more writers, more praise from fans than the last film did. But to me, this is just as bad as the last film. It's just as bad. The last one was a little more talky. This is more talky as well. Once you get through the funeral, you get the little chase, and then the bullet train, and where they're bouncing around like fucking Mary Brothers. Bang, 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 bang. And shit. And Hugh Jackman's character's been shot. Now he's a normal guy, right? He gets shot again. He gets shot here. He still lives. I'm not saying I want the character to die, but you would think, man, you're getting shot. Wouldn't you be out of commission longer? And the girl who plays the granddaughter, to me, came off like a bitch at times. Because she's on this bullet train. Logan's trying to talk to her about some shit. And she's like, acting like it's nothing. Oh, we're going to go to a safe place over here. No one knows what's that. Or whatever. And then he's like, look, you can't be going act like shit's not going on. She ignores his ass. And then he gets in a fight with the Yakuza. But you get that whole shot with him flying. Ah! Which would have made wherever fuck if this was an R-rated movie. It has some visualness to it. All that shit happens there. Basically, then he ends up going somewhere with hiding Mariko, Marikona, whatever her name is, Mariko, somewhere. I will say the Asian women who played their part, like Yu-Gi-Oh, which ironically that's her name, Yu-Gi-Oh, with the girl with the red hair and the one who played daughter. The acting, not the acting wasn't like this, but they do look very beautiful. They're beautiful on the eyes, I will say that. But beauty and bad scripts don't go together. Sorry. Beauty is good, but you gotta have some acting, some chops to back it up. Some style. Now granted, this is not their film. This is his film. Okay. We get that out of the way. You get this Japanese guy who's a ninja. Some ninja he is. It's daytime, and before the funeral action scene starts, you see him black on a brown background on top of a building or something like this. Like, no one's going to notice his flat ass right there like that. Shit. And he's firing arrows at Yakuza and stuff like that. I don't know what side this guy was on. I didn't give a fuck what team he was playing on. I honestly didn't. I know Matt calls him like the ninja version of Hawkeye because he has bow and arrows. So you got the bullet train, you got that shit. Now from that moment on, the movie slows down to a fucking crawl. or to a turtle's pace, pretty much. Bad pun intended, I know. Like turtles, they move real slow, like that. You get a whole story there, and I guess he ends up betting, not making love. I say betting or fucking Mariko. We don't actually see the act, but we get the idea because they kissed. They're in bed together. They fucked. Plain and simple. Because I didn't buy any chemistry between these two. It's just a matter of, well, we got this girl alone with this guy, this lead guy. Let's do something. Let's make him a story. Explain some shit or whatnot. Whatever. Nothing much to it. She gets taken away. Oh, by the way, Wolverine's cutting wood again. Just like he did last film. He's like, that must have been the baddest of his character. I'm so bad, I gotta cut some wood. Look, I cut some wood, bub. Why you calling me bub? I'm no bub. Okay, bub. Yeah, like fucking Sling Blade playing Wolverine. Yeah, bub. I don't like coffee. Coffee makes me mad nervous. Like, this movie makes me nervous. Hey, boy, so then... This is leaving my brain already. This movie's forgettable. A Wolverine film should not be forgettable. Should not be forgettable. He goes in to the compound. He discovers maybe there's something in his chest. Now, this is PG-13, so he takes his claw, he digs into his chest, but we don't see it. It's PG-13. And we see like a machine that's there where you can find this thing at, that maybe this device that Viper put into him when she kissed him or whatever is fucking up his healing factor. So he gets it at the same time. Mariko's father, the asshole guy, who we find out the big twist, he wants to kill her to keep her from getting his father's business. So the father wants to kill his own daughter. Really how an asshole his character is. And then before that, Viper comes in along with a bunch of ninjas. Wait till I get to that. And they surround him. And she basically stabs him with some poison. Not to kill him, just to scar him up a little, I guess. Then he puts on the samurai suit and tries to kill Wolverine while he's on the table, passed out from the device he took out. You get a decent little scene here where the redheaded Yukio girl or whatever tries to defend Wolverine. Okay. Nothing like that. Until she's about to get killed, Wolverine pulls out his claws. And what would have made the scene a little more impactful if we didn't see that he was healing already. Like it would have just been a surprise. Like all of a sudden, you know, you think he's done moving, you're not paying mind to him. Then all of a sudden, you know, with the girl or whatever, she going like this, and then when she's about to come down, then his claws retract out, and then he heals up, and then that will lead to a fight. I agree with Matt. Why is there a fight between his adamantium blade and with a katana? Ain't his adamantium the strongest form of metal on Earth? Wouldn't that smash the katana in half? Which it does eventually. And another thing, if his healing factor is gone when he was shot before and like that, wouldn't his hands be constantly bleeding all the time? His blades going in and out. Wouldn't they be more painful? So food for thought there. Here's another thing I thought of. You would think with this whole situation going on with him being vulnerable, you know, with his healing factor being gone and stuff, wouldn't this be an interesting time that maybe you could have introduced his signature suit? I'm not talking about his yellow spandex. Before people say, he yellow spandex? No, not the yellow spandex. He had another suit. The one that's like orange and yellowish. But who says it's bulletproof? You can write some shit. You can make some stuff up. This stuff they wrote over here isn't 100% of the comics. I'm willing to bet. It ain't that honest to Frank Miller's story. From what I've talked to people, in the story, he didn't have no bullshit about his powers being taken away from him. And Silver Samurai being a giant, like, robot. I don't know, was it a robot or just a guy in a suit? Somebody told me something about Silver Samurai is kind of Daredevil's bad guy. So they couldn't get no villains for Wolverine to face. They had Sabretooth, but they blew it. With the whole thing, oh, that's his brother. He can't kill his brother. Your brother's evil. One of you's got to go down. Sorry, it is what it is. So he goes in. He takes a motorcycle. He goes to Viper's place. Now, that's where you get that scene, which I thought they were going to do something with, but they fucked this up as well. You see the Hawkeye ninja guy, who's like Hawkeye with the bow and arrow. He's working with Viper, so I guess he's sort of a bad guy because he wants to serve his master and shit, or he's scared of her, whatever. Bunch of ninjas surround him, and then Wolverine says something about, is that all the men you brought? Let's make a move. Go fuck yourself, pretty boy. Okay, you got that in there. Now he makes a move. Wolverine's about to attack him, and like a pussy that his character is, all the ninjas start firing. 2 ninjas attack him. He fucks up 2 ninjas off camera. That's it. Then he gives an order to fire arrows on him. Which you get that scene where he's with all the arrows and he falls to the floor. Because one of the arrows was poisoned. Another thing that was tampered with PG-13, you could tell. He bumped into this guy who I guess was supposed to marry Mariko, who's fucking around with these 2 girls or whatever. He breaks that up and smacks the guy around a little bit. So the guy, Logan, gets mad and throws the guy out the window. Yeah. Then the girl looks down. Whoops! It's a swimming pool. How do you know his pool was there? I didn't. So once again, you cutting off his balls. Hugh Jackman, you neutered your fucking iconic character. He gets captured. He's hands in some kind of vice bullshit. Which she gets him pissed off. His claws come out. She locks his claws into place. Your Yu-Gi-Oh shows up there. Saves him. Along with my Mariko. She escapes. Wolverine gets out. The Japanese guy, the ninja guy who's in love with Mariko, tries to help out now, which is too late, but he tries to help out now. And the Silver Samurai, which I agree, he kind of looks like Shredder from the 2003 cartoons. He's like a big robot or whatever. And he has the heated blade, which is supposed to be adamantium, I guess. And it's heated. And he's about to cut off Wolverine's adamantium claws. But that's when she jumps in and breaks stuff from happening. Not much of a fight. It's just him fighting the claws like this, blocking. So ultimately, he breaks one part of the claws. Bah! Then he hides down. And he's running. Okay. Your Yu-Gi-Oh! Goes and has a fight with Viper, where Viper gets hung, and I guess an elevator, CGI elevator, comes down and knocks her head off from far away. Or bangs her in the head far away. It's CGI. Because you can't have it practical, because right away it'll be R-rated. That'll be awesome and gore-tastic. Nah, you can't do that. Because it's for the kids. You gotta have a good reason to exile the kids. Meanwhile, you did a fucking video game that had gore galore in it. That's a video game. That's more for kids than a movie is. You mean to tell me kids actually enjoyed this shit? Really? Bullshit. But hell, I stand corrected because on Matt's review, people are being like, they respectfully disagree with Matt, but they enjoyed the film. If you enjoyed the film, I was talking to Mario, Aaron, please do me a favor. Explain why in the comments, why you enjoy this film. Don't just say it's better than X-Men Origins. No, you gotta be more specific. Be more specific. There's 4 action scenes in the film. The funeral, the bullet train, okay, the little fight when in the compound with the redheaded Japanese girl and trying to save Wolverine, and Wolverine pulling the sword away from Mariko's father. Oh yeah, he killed Mariko's father. It could have been awesome if it was R-rated. Just like that, he's fisting it throat. You hear a retractable blade, but you don't see it come out through the back. Now, in the first X-Men film, you remember Wolverine when Logan had a nightmare? That's PG-13 too. Remember when Logan had a nightmare? What happens? And Rogue woke him up. What happened? He stabbed her, and you see the claw coming out from the back of her thing. That's PG-13. And X2, remember X2, X-Men United, that whole thing where Stryker's guys come into the school. That's the real berserker raid, at least within PG-13 standards, where he's stabbing one guy in the foot, he's stabbing one guy in the chest. Basically, he stabs one guy in the foot, flings him up. That's berserker rage. Oh hell, even in X3, I'll go on a limb. Even X3. You remember in X3 when he was in the woods? He fucked up some of those mutants? When he was on the tree and he climbed back down, he went like that. Or in the third act, when the X-Men made the last stand, like the title says, and Wolverine started slicing up people. Until that one guy came at him with the thing that regenerates and punched him. Come on! And then Wolverine kicked him in the balls. Grow one of those back. So I liked that. But then you get the last film and you get this film. You give Wolverine his own movie finally to censor him the most. Because of the kids. No, it's not. It's because of the money, you cocksucker. It ain't because of the kids. Bullshit. My dick. So he goes. Ultimately, he gets his claws chopped off. And revealed the Silver Samurai's identity. And lo and behold, guess who it is? Was it Xavier? No. Is it Cyclops? No. Is it Sabretooth? Fuck no, that'd be a fucking hell of a twist. Was it Deadpool? Ah, fuck no, I doubt that. Just playing now. It's Yoshida! Big surprise! He was controlling the suit all along. He was masterminding this whole thing all along. He faked his death. And basically grabs Wolverine and puts some insertions into his knuckles to take his bone marrow or sperm sample or DNA, whatever the fuck it is, so he can become younger. And it starts working because he starts looking younger and Wolverine starts shriveling up. Until ultimately, I guess Mariko takes the piece of the broken adamantium claws and stabs her grandfather by the neck. And then Wolverine gets pissed, and lo and behold, guess what makes a return? The bone claws! Rips out his armor, stabs him in his chest. You want me to come around here and say goodbye? Well, sayonara. And then drops him down. Then he goes to the airport, says goodbye to Mariko, which obviously he knows I'm in a relationship. Now she inherits the business. Yu-Gi-Oh goes with him. I don't know what for. Then the movie finishes. Then you get this whole after credit sequence. That he's in a metal detector, which I don't know how you're going to get metal detector. How he's going to go through there. But he's got no more adamantium claws. Maybe somewhere still in his skeleton. But ultimately, everything stops. We see Ian McKellen as Magneto. Which, let me ask you guys something. You remember X3? Didn't Magneto lose his powers thanks to Beast stabbing him with that injection that cured him? But according to Bryan Singer, X3 doesn't exist, I guess. Professor Xavier's there. He's back. Logan sees him. He goes, "We've been waiting for you." And then I guess that's it. So fuck Bryan Singer. I just said it just for the fuck of it. Fuck Bryan Singer. Hugh Jackman, you're a fucking hypocrite. Granted, I heard you say that because he does seem like a nice guy. You know, I know he tries to give good fan service. I know Wolverine, it's helped him build a career over the years. Even though everything else away from Wolverine, to be honest, hasn't been shit. I know Real Steel made money. I believe so. I think it did. Even though I hate Real Steel. Other stuff he's done. Les Miserables, I guess, made some money, you could say. I don't think it was a big hit. But maybe it was. I don't know. I don't give a shit. This movie is boring. It's lackluster. Disappointing. They had another chance to do it. The movie's budget was ridiculous. The movie's budget, if I can get to the budget of the movie here, is It has to be for fucking egos. This wasn't because of budget regarding effects. I doubt that. Had to be because of fucking egos. Now IMDb this got a 7.2. That doesn't deserve 7.2. I'm sorry. Let me look at the budget for this shit. The budget was 100 million. The opening weekend was 53 million, and it grossed over 73. So I don't know. It's number one in the box office. I did check out Box Office Mojo. It is the top spot. And it's Wolverine. It's Hugh Jackman's 6th time playing Wolverine again. An outstanding introduction to a larger universe that does the character justice. I fucking disagree. You're new to the fucking character. Let me see what else shit that these writers done. Mark Baumbach and Scott Frank. Let's see. I know James Mangold did Night and Day. Night and Day, like I said before, is better than this movie. Well, I know I recognize the name. Mark Baumbach was the writer behind Godsend. He was the writer behind Live Free or Die Hard. He was the writer behind Race to Witch Mountain, which I enjoy a lot. He was the writer behind Unstoppable, which that's unbelievable. Unstoppable is such a good fucking movie. But he was also one of the writers connected with Total Rehash last year. He wrote this film, and he is the same guy who was going to write The Dawn of the Rape of the Planet of the Apes. That's Mark Baumbach. Now, it's the other writer they got, Scott Frank. Well, let's see. He wrote an episode of Wonder Years. He wrote this comedy, Plain Clothes. He did write that Kenneth Branagh film, Dead Again. Little Man Tate. Malice with Alec Baldwin. He was the writer behind Get Shorty, really. Heaven is Prisoners with Alec Baldwin. Out of Sight, which I thought was overrated. Minority Report, which I thought was very fucking boring. I didn't give a fuck about Minority Report. He was also the writer behind Flight of the Phoenix. He was the writer behind The Interpreter, which I thought The Interpreter was okay. I seen that a long time ago. I thought it was just okay. That's on Sean Penn and Nicole Kidman. The Lookout, which I want to see what that is. The Lookout. That's the movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Jeff Daniels. Marley and Me. Well, so that's the writers you're gonna get pretty much. The guy who wrote Marley and Me, Get Shorty. And James Mangold. You're a long way from Copland, really. And Copland is a good fucking movie. And stuff like that. I didn't give a fuck about nobody here. The movie got $100 million. They obviously went for ego, coke, and horse, and sake. They must have been drinking their ass off when they did this fucking movie. And shit. I was expecting maybe a time waster at most, maybe a quicker pace film. Instead, it's a 2-hour movie, which nothing happens. I will say this right here, right now. As much as some friends of mine did not care for Man of Steel, I can say Man of Steel is better than this film. I will say that. Because that's a slow pace, but at least it's building the character. I don't know. I thought Zack Snyder directed some of the scenes better. That's just me. I know they blew up Metropolis in the end of the fucking movie. It looks like LA, like when the Skynet fucked it up. Fine. Oh, you yawning again. This happens when you get up early in the morning. So, what else to say about this film? Well, basically, I hate the fucking movie. It's a letdown. It's a piece of shit. Why did I watch it? Well, it's kind of one of those things where, like you're on a highway and you're in traffic because of an accident, and then you're in the behind the steering wheel and you're talking about why the fuck is everyone stopping and looking like rubbernecking? Everyone stop looking. You're like, why the fuck is stop and look? Just keep fucking going. But then you say that, but then when you get close to there, fuck it, I'm gonna look. Same shit. It's like watching an accident. You're an asshole, Hugh Jackman, along with 20th Century fuckface as usual, and talentless writers. Darren Aronofsky, I don't think he would have made much of a difference, to be honest. Because Darren Aronofsky, nothing I've ever seen him do proves to me he can handle Wolverine film. And people might say, "Oh, but it was rated R. It wouldn't have made money." It's the definitive Wolverine film. I cannot take this out, but I can say this. Look, see this? See that? Hulk versus Wolverine. That's better than this movie. See this? See, that's Daredevil director's cut. That's better than this movie. See that? That's the Punisher 2004. That's better than this movie. I know somewhere around there I have Thor, and I got Incredible Hulk somewhere up there. I know it's up there. Oh yeah, Thor is all the way on top. That's the Avengers. I know the camera got all crooked up there, but fuck, I'm not gonna time picking it up there. But anyway, you guys get the idea. There's better superhero films. Even Green Lantern, for fuck's sake, which that's a film. When I first heard about it, way back when, before the movie came out, I thought it was gonna be bullshit. But thanks to that film, I didn't mind the movie. Well, even Thor, for fuck's sake. Like, if someone asked me years ago that a movie of Thor would be better than any movie of Wolverine, it'd be hilarious. And look what happened. This is pitiful. I looked at this film yesterday. I started laughing. I was watching it with Matt. Matt saw it again. It's a laughable, stupid movie. And it's funny about it is, people make this out to be like it's the Holy Grail. It's the best superhero film of the summer. Bullshit. To me, it is this year's Dark Knight Rises. And from what I heard, Iron Man 3 is sort of like that as well. Iron Man Rises. Or should I say, Tony Stark Rises. That'll be another day, another video. But this movie here, Hugh Jackman, you're an idiot. The writers, Mark Baumbach and Scott Prick, you guys are a bunch of idiots as well. James Mangold, you're a fucking liar. I guarantee your extended cut ain't gonna be worth shit. I bet you it'll also be on the Blu-ray too, so that's another fuck you right there. Double fuck you on you. And from this moment on, I give up Wolverine. The only hope I have, if Marvel Animation will get off their ass and do a straight to DVD. And let me tell you something, that Hulk versus, that's PG-13, and that's more violent than this fucking movie is. Or than the last movie was, to be honest. Because when Wolverine comes out and they show his origin real quick, it's violent. He cuts off a guy's arm. He's fucking up some of the professor's men. And then like that, he stabs Hulk a couple of times with the claws. And shit, man, he gets his ass kicked, pal. But it's violent. It's got visceralness to it. Even Planet Hulk. That's another one that's an animated movie. It's got visceralness in it. Or these movies right here. I can show these. These are close by. These animated films are more violent. They're PG-13. They're more violent than this fucking live-action movie that's $100 million. 150 or 120. And IMDb says $100 million. But it doesn't deserve all that money. Well, you can't tell me all that money went for that bullet train stunt, really? Or it went into the fucking fixing the enhancement on his claws? Just ridiculous. So the movie gets a 0 out of 10. I don't want to go on no more about the film. Had a shitty morning as it is. But thank you all for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed the rant. I don't know if I was over the top with this or what, but I feel maybe Matt and Mike probably did the best job yelling about this as well that I could do. They did more hilarious stuff. I don't remember what the hell I said halfway through this. Maybe I'll rewatch it again if the YouTube shit plays it or whatever. And stuff like that. I'm still not able to watch my Godzilla review on YouTube for some reason. I can watch it on my regular player, but for some reason on YouTube, it doesn't want to fucking work. But everybody else is able to see it, thank God. But thank you all for tuning in. And 0 out of 10 is the rating for this fucking movie. And this film has made my list for worst films of the year so far. By far. Dread. A comic book movie. or about a superhero. That's R-rated. That didn't get no praise. It got shit on by a lot of people. And was a big box office bomb. And that was what? Less than this budget. And that's a miles better movie than this. Granted, it doesn't have non-stop action, but it has the tone going for it. It has the style going for it. When the action scenes are there, they're well shot. And everything like that. A lot of badass moments from Dredd. Mama's not the law. I am the law. Be warned, Mama. Judgment time. See? That's better than this fucking movie. This gets a 7.2? Fuck out of here. This one, fuck this movie and fuck X-Men Origins Wolverine and First Class of bullshit and Days of Future Past can eat my shit and swallow it. If that makes any sense. But thank you all for watching. And 0 out of 10 is the rating for this. You all take it easy. You had your chance, but you blew it.